In the name of Allah, the Compassionate and Merciful, for today's program of Quranic stories, we are going to have an overview on the story of the Prophet Khidr. In Holy Quran, the name of the Prophet Khidr hasn't been directly mentioned, and we cannot find the name in the Holy Quran, but he has been introduced as Abdan min ibadina ataynahu rahmatun min indina. Allah introduces him as one of the great, that Prophet Khidr as a great worshipper of our worshippers, that we gave him a lot of mercy and knowledge. It shows that Allah has gifted him a great position of worshiping God and deep knowledge and wisdom. And also he has been known as the teacher of the Prophet Moses, peace be upon them. He has been a great wise man, with having full of wisdom, and also benefiting from the God's mercy and graces, and having a lot of secrets of the universe. That is why we call him as the teacher of the Prophet Moses. Yes, in some cases, the Prophet Moses, as one of the great prophets of God, was higher than the Prophet Khidr. From the different narrations from Ahlul Bayt, we realize that he has been one of the prophets of God, sent by God to guide his people toward the unique Allah Almighty as the prophet of God. From his miracle is very known among the prophets that whenever by the permission of God, he wanted a piece of dried wood could be turned into a fresh green tree, or a dried land could be changed into a green land. That is why he is called Prophet Khidr. Khidr in Arabic language means green. It means he could make all the dried places which there was no plant in it into a green place. His real name is Talia ibn Malakan ibn Aber ibn Arfakhshad ibn Sam ibn Nuh. It means that he is from the generation of the Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him. There is an interesting story between the Prophet Khidr and Prophet Moses in the Holy Quran, verses 79 to 83 from the chapter Kahf. And this is very interesting story, that how wise and how was the wisdom of this great prophet of God, so that even he could teach the great prophet of God, Prophet Moses, some points. If we want to have a look at this story based on the verses mentioned from the Holy Quran in chapter Kahf 79 to 83, he said to the Holy Prophet Moses, are you enough patient about what you are not knowing about that, and you don't know the secret of that? And the Prophet Moses said, by the grace of God, by the will of God, I try to be patient, and I won't disagree you in the matters you are going to tell me. For that reason, the Prophet Khidr said, the Prophet Moses, peace be upon them, please follow me and don't ask anything, and if needed, I will explain to you the points. So they went on a sheep, and the prophet Moses and prophet Khidr boarded on the ship. Let's listen to the rest of this story after a short break. In the first part, we mentioned Prophet Khidr and Prophet Moses, peace be upon them, together went on a trip. And the Prophet Khidr wanted Prophet Moses not to ask a question, and he would explain about the reasons. And as we read in the Holy Quran verse, the Prophet Moses, I will try by the grace of God to be patient about what I see. First, they boarded on a ship, and when they were on that ship, the Prophet Khidr tried to make a hole in the ship, and so the water penetrated and came to the ship. So the Prophet Moses was so surprised and asked him, why did you do so? But as we know, the Prophet Khidr has told Prophet Moses not to ask question, and he would explain the reasons if needed. Then they went on their way. He saw a young man, adolescent, the Prophet Khidr, and he tried to kill him, and finally killed him. And it made the Prophet Moses so surprised, but he had promised not to ask question. Then for the third event, the Prophet Moses and Prophet Khidr entered a village, and the people of the village were not kind to them, very cruel, and when they demanded for food and something to eat, they didn't help them and didn't even gave them anything. There was two young boys, and they had a wall which was going to be destroyed, and the Prophet Khidr went and repaired that wall for them, and didn't receive anything of money or food or anything. And even this event made the Prophet Moses more surprised than before, and he couldn't be enough patient for this event. So when the three events were over, Prophet Moses asked the Prophet Khidr and said, what were the reasons behind these events? And the Prophet Khidr said, I knew that you couldn't be enough patient, but I will explain to you that what were the reasons. In the first event, the sheep that I made a hole in it was for some poor people, and they had a very cruel and oppressor governor, and the governor wanted to have the sheep for himself and take it from those poor people. That is why I did it so that cruel and oppressor governor in that area couldn't own this sheep. For the second event, when I killed the young man, because he was a kind of pagan, he didn't go the right path, going astray, and I was so worried that even he could misguide his parents, because his parents were the real believers of God. And when we go to the third event, and the third event, when we went to the village, and the people of the village didn't help us, but I helped those young boys to repair the walls of the house for them. The reason was that under that wall was a kind of treasury and some money, and they needed, because they were good people and they needed it for the future. And I tried to keep it them for the future. And if the other people destroyed the wall, they could discover that money, and they really took the money from those young boys. So you see that in every event that we did, there was a deep philosophy and wisdom, but you were not enough patient. This is very interesting. A story in the Holy Quran shows that how wise was this great prophet, and he knew the secrets of many things that even a great prophet like Prophet Moses didn't know. Okay, I really recommend you to follow this story in the Holy Quran. Thank you for watching.